right, good morning. It's a little bit after 8:30 here, Eastern Standard Time. We got, let's say, Wednesday, the 11th. Taking a look at the SPY of the daily chart up. We got 2 amber days in a row here. Well, we have one yesterday, and we're setting up for another potential amber day, which is good because that means we have a little bit of a transition going on here after several, basically 3 weeks worth of bearish setups. We do have a nice basing, and kind of the bear flag formation might be done. So I would say right now the amber is indicating and looking like we might get a nice solid run here. However, the volume is not exactly strong. So that was yesterday. It was good. I mean, it was a good move day. It was kind of almost an inside day in a way, but it did not look like it was going to be a good day. Finished right in between the 2 anchored VWAPs, and this morning we're popping out. Let's see where we are in terms of trend lines here. Downtrend ray from the high here, hard rejection right off Monday. So what we got here? So we're just peeking out right now. That's good. We're kind of sitting on it really, but it looks like we did get outside it. It'd be interesting if we can break above that high. We would have to obviously get above these anchored VWAPs from this high. That would be important. And of course, we would just kind of run into the 200-day EMA above us, but up is good, right? Now let's take the big thing is the angle of attack favor the upside, and I'd say yes. So very steep here on the up. I'll leave that in there just for a little bit. I'm going to get rid of those. It's just getting too much of a mess. A little technical analysis note, especially with trend lines. And actually not just trend lines, but basically anytime there's an indicator and it's a strong, high conviction, so like something of a level or an angle, major moving averages, VWAPs also work. In this, I'll show you another example, which is when the share price does drop above or below it, but it's momentary. You get a hard rejection, it moves hard the other way, and that's kind of becomes the pivot points that you're looking for, right? So you're looking for, it wants to drop above or below, rise above or drop below a certain key level or indicator, and it just has a nasty reaction. It gets down there, there's a lot of aggressive movement, but when that happens, there's usually a strong, enduring move for a month or so. Now, we had this in October where we dropped. I had this as like the bottom. This was the monthly anchored VWAP from the 2018 low, and this was the monthly anchored from the 2020 low. And I had this as the level, and we opened up that morning basically below it, but once the market opened, just above it, we dropped below it pre-market. I believe it was economic data, I cannot remember. But then we ripped, and we went on, just a nice big move. Some days were big, obviously. This is huge here. Move, and then we ran into some resistance, came up, ran into the all-time high downtrend ray, came up, rally, and then look, now we're here, and we're going to solid move away. I still believe that's going to lead to some downside at some point, but the fact that we're kind of getting this pennant formation going now, right, wedging in, and we even had a moment where we dropped below these 2 uptrend rays earlier this week, or end of last week, and now we've been on this kind of solid move up minus Monday. It's a lot of mixed signals going on here, but point being is when you move outside one of these a major indicator, trend line, support, resistance, you go outside the Keltner channel very hard, you're going to get some sort of snapback, and it's aggressive, and it's usually a strong move, and it's enduring. lasts for more than just a few days. You look like, I mean, especially the harder it is, bigger the move, the harder the snap. You know, it's what's it? Not a boomerang, but a slingshot. There you go. Let's take a look at the cues real quick. The cues will be the key because it's still the laggard. But that's interesting to note there. Above the anchored VWAP, kind of, you know, a very low conviction downtrend ray, but I do this because you just want to see if there's anything keeping it down. Now, I'm sure when it gets up to this level, there's so much going on here. You got some support, resistance, anchored VWAPs, a previous trend line, which does, you could even see here, this is an older one. Notice how it got up and it came back down, and then all of a sudden it's back in control, like it's influencing the share price. Got above, now we're moving above here. Now look, we came into, let's see, this one. Yeah, this acted again. You could see, like it was here, dropped below, got above. That was a rejection day, but then the following day, it regained control over the share price. So trend lines don't go away. All right, where are you? Diamond's been keeping us afloat. Ooh. She's not above it. Alright, so we need the diamonds to rock today, but it's the laggard. Qs look good today. And SPY's kind of benefiting. She's not outside of it either. We're close. Let's take a look at the pre-market and SPY just to see if there's something going on here. We're getting double top setup or something. Not really. There's the 8 o'clock, right? Drop. That's aggressive. That's what they're running off today. Yikes. All right, anybody? Not too much news coming out right now. JP Morgan Healthcare Conference hasn't been like, I mean, you had some important players. I mean, Pfizer, you had a lot of big guys already get out there and talk, so not much going on in terms of positive developments. You kind of get some of these, you know, the market's reacting with the lack of information. Lack of good news is hurting, so there's not too much neutral going on. Gosh, it's kind of the seesaw effect. The guys who were lagging yesterday are, you know, up now. The guys who are, you know, leading yesterday are behind now, so it's just kind of not much really going on. Vive, that was down a couple days ago. Now we're moving up. Not really though. Is this a setup? Man, nailed that 200-day EMA and just done. Well, we're poking out, so keep an eye on Vive. Monthly chart. So, potential. The monthly RSI is slightly higher. We have this hit that bounced off it. Here's the question: is do we have? I don't think this has happened yet. So she's not in rally mode yet, is she? Very close though. Ooh, yeah. Vive. Put her in. Oh, Halo, I mean, well, I shouldn't say slightly, but below estimates. I'm not overly worried because it seems to be just a temporary thing. I'm not gonna freak out over it. GemMab. I have to adjust my buy target on GenMab. This is them and Halo. I need to really start gobbling them up when I have a chance. Oh yeah, come on down. Come on. No, I don't think I'm gonna get that. Regeneron. I mean, we'll see. That's a lot of distribution here. So I think it's just the COVID. You know, they had a decent amount of COVID revenue, so I have to take a look at their revenue estimates going forward. But they might have a situation where they're going to see a year-over-year decline, maybe for a year or so, a few years, and that could be obviously concerning because everybody knows they made bank during COVID. I mean, everybody knows that they just pulled in a massive stockpile of cash. That adds to the value of the company. But when you start reporting, decrease in revenue, and that growth story goes away, it's like, oh, could they come to their former glory? It's that it's just going to be that COVID headache. People, come on. What you really want to look at is, is their base base business still growing? What they've been, ILEA, what do you got? Was it Pralint or whatever it is, and Libiteo, all those great products that they have, are they growing now? Or have they reacquired a growth trajectory pre-COVID? All those things. If that's a yes, then you'll just take the benefit of them having a great COVID therapeutic, and maybe that revenue's going away, but I'm not going to sit here and say that this company's been valued properly or their the majority of their valuation is on COVID. I don't believe that at all. So could be a good buy opportunity. Now I have to make adjustments on the buy and sell targets here. I might have to bump them up. Oh no, I'm talking again. What was I? BioBoom, Bioreactor. Yeah, so let's do the BioBoom here. Did we look at these already? We did. Sorry. Anybody here that make a note of? Oh, Pfizer's a great example. I mean, Pfizer's supposed to expect. I mean, they're going to literally lose a third of their revenue between the vaccines and Paxlovid. That's interesting. I bet that's true. Because as of right now, COVID's still, potent enough that it's concerning. It hasn't diluted itself enough yet to, just be a cold or a strong virus, strong level. So I think people still fear that over your seasonal flu. So that makes sense. They're having a big problem with China right now. I'm doing a piece on it right now about the fact that Pfizer and China are kind of. I mean, I don't know what's. Obviously we don't know how often they talk, but between the Chinese government, the Chinese media, they are claiming that Pfizer's not backing. I mean, they're not allowing generics. First of all, there are the generics. There's fake generics out there, but no one should be making a generic on the drug. But they have a domestic in China, domestic manufacturer for the drug. So having them producing it because they can't get enough of it over there should help out Pfizer, and you have like millions of people. There's some cities that are reporting almost 1 million a day alone just in China. So obviously they're all not going to require Paxlovid, but if you're getting 1 million, I don't know what the percentage is. 1 out of whatever is going to be hospitalized and probably would benefit from a Paxlovid treatment cycle. So there's opportunity there, and I'm sure China's like, hey, we have a huge population, you have a domestic manufacturer in the country, so why don't you try to drop the price here? And I bet they did. I mean, I'm sure they're not paying full retail for mass orders from their healthcare organizations over there, but at the same time, according to Borla, I can't ever say his name correctly, the CEO of Pfizer, that China's kind of asking for their prices for Paxlovid to be below El Salvador's, which, in terms of the size of the country and the size of their economy, etc., it's kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, higher volume, still clearing a profit. They need the help. I don't know what side you want to pick. I mean, China can obviously afford it, but should Pfizer be demanding everybody pay just because you can afford it, you can pay a massive premium? I mean, that's what life is in the United States. Just because we can afford it, we pay massive premiums on everything to subsidize the rest of the world. But I don't know if China's in that situation, really. We'll see. It's going to be a little bit of a battle there. The longer it goes on, the worse it is for both sides. Pfizer's missing an opportunity to get more of that drug out there and make some cash on it at the moment, regardless, even if it's just a little bit. I mean, you got two problems. One, the person that could have gotten the treatment cycle either passes or now has just recently gone through some COVID and now is got some natural immunity going on. So there's that issue. We'll see. Be interesting. I think I'm going to keep the buy targets around the same, though, for the sucker. Because if you have several years of year-over-year decline from COVID, slowly coming down, because they're still getting elevated from probably, I mean, that vaccine's probably going to be a steady for several years. Paxlovid's probably going to be a important antiviral for a very long period of time. So they'll still be benefiting. It's just on paper it'll look like they're weakening up a lot, but they won't be, really. They're still, outproducing other people. But anyway, we're going to end that. So I only really got Regeneron. Nah, I wouldn't say Regeneron. Who was it? I forget. See? Pretty sure. Oh, yeah, Vive. That didn't hit yesterday, but we'll see. Align. Let's take a look at you. Yeah, Align's on. She's starting to grind up. There's the breakout, and she's just slowly grinding up. Kind of a double bottom of the monthly. So that does... I like to see a higher low set on the monthly. So maybe another sell-off to retest, and I'll really get aggressive here. But yeah, daily getting here. We're gonna see. This might be strong. We might run to like almost up to 275 area, at least to 240 something here. There's a lot of volume here. That's some people are gonna probably want to de-risk. Give a 200-day EMA. I suspect this is not just gonna, completely whip it around and, but we'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting. See what happens here. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. Not too much. Again, I'm probably gonna. This week is gonna be. I'm moving on headlines on healthcare and then waiting on the overall market. So if there's a really good unjustified sell-off, maybe if Halo comes down more, GenMab comes down towards the end of the week into the next week, and there's a bottom effect and it's below our buy threshold or pretty close to it, I might gobble some up there. But everything else, I'm just taking my time. I just don't see the rush to. I mean, most of our trade setups, I haven't if you're asking me like bio boom, I would expect most of our buys and sells. If you're gonna buy it, you're gonna be looking to sell it and hit our first buy target, month or two later. We've got stuff that, although is above where we bought it, it hasn't hit the buy targets. Oh my gosh, 6 months, and some of them getting close to a year. They're above their buy threshold. They got down there, they hit the buy threshold, maybe buy one, and they're above the buy thresholds. They just haven't made it to the sell target one yet. I mean, look at this. I mean, you could have bought at 187 to 232, but I mean, I guess you could book some profits, but look how slow the recoveries are happening here. Now, one could say this is great accumulation, putting in a base, get some volume here. That might be true, but there's just no rush to get in right now because we're not just seeing that strong move, these big moves up that we want to, where we're going to book profits quickly. This is kind of like the idea that you might have to wait to more of like a day trading mentality where you might want to wait for the breakout and the rush in volume to get involved. Now, you might lose a substantial portion of profits, but at least your money's moving up and not just moving sideways and locked up, right? Anyway, I'm going to end it there. I'm sorry for another rant there, but that's what these off-the-cuff morning videos are about. So, only a handful of candidates on the watch list today. I'll keep an eye out for anything coming out of JP Morgan. It is a San Francisco, so we have to wait a few hours for things to really start to heat up over there. Anything else? Oh, yeah, I'm working on Pfizer. That should probably be out today. All right, good luck.